Good afternoon. I think I'm going to start out with our captains for the Toledo game. On offense, Hayden Mahoney. He's graded out the highest of all linemen in the last two games, and well-deserved for him. On defense, Joe Jackson and Sheldrick Redwine. And on special teams, we had a true freshman, Al Blades. Al's come in and just competed extremely well, does a super job on every team. Coach Hartley really appreciates it when a true freshman can come in and understand the importance of that part of the game and have the skill set and the demeanor to take care of business. So we're not afraid to honor a true freshman as a captain throughout the season, and if he keeps it up, who knows? He may become permanent captain by the end. So that's kind of how we do it. Jason Candle in his third season at Toledo, doing a great job. Already got 22 victories. Was 11-3 last year. Was coach of the year last year. They won their league last year. So great job by him and his staff. Of course, we played him a year ago. It's our first game off the hurricane, and it was a barn burner. It was a battle to the very end, and they did a great job. And our guys fought like mad too, and we ended up winning it. But it was a great battle, and we expect the same. We're going to be in their house. I guess we're going to be on ESPN2. I just found out we'll be at high noon. It's supposed to be very warm. I think today's temperature is a lot lower, I guess, than what game day is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be in the 80s, so it'll be nice and warm. And we'll have to do battle in their house. Their offensive and defensive coordinators are back. 3 years, they've all been there together, so he's done a good job of keeping his staff together. Last week, they defeated VMI 66-3, I think it was, and had a lot of offensive fireworks. Mitchell Godani, their quarterback, threw for 3 touchdowns, 265 yards, 285, something like that, and got some really good receivers. 3 receivers that have all at one time or another in their career caught 10 touchdown passes. I think it's the only group trio in America that had that returning. But in this ball game, they played 3 quarterbacks and hit 11 different receivers. Koback and Seymour, 2 running backs, they each scored. Their defense held VMI to 235 yards. And wide receiver Cody Thompson caught a touchdown pass, also blocked a punt, scooped it, and scored, or at least recovered it for a score. Offensively, again, a year ago they led the MAC in total offense, over 480 yards a game, 36 points a game. Very impressive. They were, I think, second in the league in score in points. I mentioned their wideouts, Johnson, and Thompson, and how they're fun to watch if you're not playing them, I guess is the best way to say it. I enjoy offensive football. I enjoy people being able to throw and catch. I enjoy the art of route running and ball catching and all that good stuff. And if we weren't playing them, I would actually say I was enjoying it. Defensively, last year they gave up 26 points a game. They were returning 9 out of their top 10 DBs. Childress has had 28 tackles. He's the lone returning defensive lineman. And Tyler Tafe, their linebacker, had 48 tackles. Their safety, Robinson, is the leading returning tackler with 67 tackles, 4 picks. Special teams, Vest made, 25 out of 30 kicks, and 5 out of 7 from the plus 40. His longest kick was against the Miami Hurricanes in Hard Rock Stadium, 49-yarder. No one missed last year. No one missed, I don't think, the year before. I wouldn't say the guy last week missed one, but if we didn't block it, it looked like it was going straight through. So we're good for opposing kickers. Bailey Flint averaged 38 yards a punt last year, and Johnson, I mentioned before, Dante Johnson is both punt and kick returner. He returned a punt and a kick for a touchdown last year. So they're really good at what they do. They're what you would expect from a team that wins their conference. They're what you expect from a team that wins 11 games, and I think they've gone the last 6 years and never won less than 9. They're winners because they execute. They're winners because they believe in what they do and how they do it. I think they're winning because they have kept their staff intact and the kids know what to expect, and they do a great job. So again, gotta travel there and wake up early and get ready to rock and roll. So you guys can ask me any questions you want.
Mark, do you like a little better non-conference game like this in terms of improving your own team?
I don't even think in terms of that. I think in terms of who we're playing, looking at the film, looking at their scheme, looking at their best players. Who do we need to try to defend? Who do we need to try to block better? Maybe have a scheme for somebody. What are they doing on this down and distance? I mean, that's all I think about with opponents. It's another game. It's the next one on the schedule, and we got to get ready to improve every minute of every day.
Mark, there have been a lot of examples of quarterbacks who have improved their completion percentage or accuracy percentage. If you factor drops, Aaron Murray, certainly for you, there have been a lot of them. What gave you the confidence that Malik could do that this year? And do you feel the same way even after the struggles against LSU that he can improve that?
I think he can. I mean, the bottom line is we're going to play who we think gives us the best chance of winning. That's what we're doing. Bottom line. So as long as he's that, he'll start. If we think someone else gives us a better chance to win, we'll start that guy.
Was it something that mechanically you thought that could be fixed, where you still have hope? 54% to much higher.
Well, yeah, you throw better when you got a cleaner pocket. You throw better when guys run good routes. You throw better. Your passing percentage goes better when you have guys that'll make a tough catch here and there. So it's everybody. It's not just one player.
Amon and D-Jax.
I think D-Jax is okay. Amon is still day to day.
Did Nkosi do enough last week where he is your number 2 quarterback now?
We haven't defined that. I thought he did well, though. I thought Weldon did well. Weldon's first play got fooled a little bit on the coverage, and I don't know if you heard what I said in post game, but we saw a little bit of a 2-deep look, and I kind of planted the seed that it might be a split safety look, and that first progression might be in good shape. Make sure you take a peek at it, and they pre-snap looked just like that, and then on the snap they rotated, and I just for a freshman QB to say all that to him beforehand was not very smart. I felt like I set him up for failure on that particular play, but everything else he did extremely well.
The 2 freshman tight ends, are they where you thought they would be as talented as they are, a little beyond that?
Well, they're getting better fast because they're playing. And we knew they were going to have to play. Obviously, when Michael got hurt, it accelerated it even more. But we felt like even with Michael healthy, we were going to play both those guys. We had no thoughts of slowing down on their ability to get in the game and all that kind of thing. But now it's their first team in our 2 tight end set, their first and second team in our 1 tight end set, and they're doing a really good job. It's you see the number of catches, or you see him, the Mallory jump up and come down so strong with the ball, with the guy got his arm in there raking it out. I mean, most veteran guys don't hang on to the ball in that case, but that was a big time play. So you see those plays, and you get enamored with them. But they, Brevin is ahead of Mallory right this minute in the blocking phase, and your tight end's got to block in this system too. And Mallory's got a tougher job because Brevin is basically playing one spot. That one spot has a lot to learn, okay? But if it's 1 tight end set, he's that guy. If it's a 2 tight end set, he's the same guy. We call him the F, all right? We got X, Y, Z, H, and an F. All right, well, Mallory, he play in a 2 tight end set, he's a Y, all right? But in a 1 tight end, he's the F, where Brevin is. So he's got a lot more to learn, just learning plays. Am I at Y? Am I at F? And then all the blocking, he has to learn how to block online. But then he's a perimeter blocker too. If he's in the slot as a Y, he's out there blocking guys in space. So it's tougher for Mallory right this minute because he's got almost double the assignments and maybe not double the techniques, but he probably has whatever Brevin has plus a third more when it comes to technique. And but they're both. If you set them down on the board and you ask them what to do in this look and that look and this look and that look, they'll get it. And most of the time they'll get it in practice, and most of the time they'll get it in the game, but there's still times they're not sure. And, you do add things to a game plan. A little bit here and a little bit there. Before you know it, it's enough to confuse the guys. So we're trying to be careful with that too. But Coach Hartley is doing an awesome job getting these guys ready and getting them ready all summer. He knew what was going to happen. We knew what was going to happen by getting them in the game. But they are the right kind of kids. They're smart. They're tough. They're diligent. I think they really are mature enough to understand how hard they got to work to play.
Saturday night you said that one of the things that Lorenzo has to get better at is pass pro.
Yes.
And so what, is it a good sign of the message being delivered? We saw him after practice for probably 10 or 15 minutes over by himself, just working technique, just
Yeah.
hit the sled over.
Yeah, he knows. He's another kid that wants to play, is very mature in that he doesn't sit there and go, hey, I'm 5-star, I should be playing. He's like, I know I got to get better at certain things. So he's working at it. And to his credit, we're really proud of that kind of attitude. And not all of our freshmen are that way, but a majority of them are. And the guys that were maybe thinking, playing time is a right rather than something you got to earn, I think a lot of them have learned that you do have to earn it. And like I said before, these kids have got a skill set that, God gave them that made them the best guy in the park as a kid, the best guy on their junior high team, the best guy on their high school team, or one of the best. And they were going to be the man no matter what. And I'm not saying they didn't work hard, but now they got a bunch of guys like them, and they got to learn to compete and also function in a system where it's more than just running the ball if you're a runner, or it's more than just catching a ball if you're a receiver. You got to learn to block as a receiver. You got to learn to block as a runner. And they're learning that and getting there.
Mark, Jason Campbell said yesterday that this is the biggest thing happening in Toledo all weekend. Is
Right.
Miami coming up. You guys dealt with
Yeah.
that against Appalachian State a couple years ago.
Right.
What kind of environment are you?
Oh, it'll be
preparing
wild.
you guys for?
It'll be wild. We'll get everything they got. I'm sure they'll have every single seat sold, and there'll be probably standing room only, and their fans are going to be ready, for a great battle. I'm sure they've been excited about this for a while. Let's face it, they played a game, had an open date, so the fans had time to get ready for 2 weeks. The coaches have ready to get ready for 2 weeks, and the whole off season. So we really don't know for sure what we'll get. The only thing we do know is, historically, they don't try to make up a whole bunch of stuff. They just line up and win. They just line up and execute. But with that much time, we have to expect that they're going to be doing a few things a little differently, a few curveballs on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game.
Talked about it in the spring, but how to sort of shuffle guys a little bit on the offensive line.
Yes.
Just the way Donaldson has looked at right tackle and moving Tyree over left, what you thought of the tackle that you got?
Yeah, I think it's still a work in progress, to be honest with you. I'm not pushing any alarm, but I think Tyree is handling the left tackle maybe a little bit better than Navon at this minute, but Navon is, battling and working and knowing that, he's got to, work hard on his technique and work hard on his quickness and things of that nature. We had Venzel Bolware get in the game early, rotate at the guard position with both sides. I think before it was over, we had, before that last game was over, we had Hayden at center, we had Corey at guard, we had Campbell playing tackle, I think Zalante got in, I think Dykstra got in, Bar Milo got in at center. A lot of guys got to play, but the ones that are the most game ready are the top 5 we've had, plus Venzel, and we've mentioned Scaife is coming along pretty quickly. So maybe Scaife can help, maybe a rotation at tackle possibly sooner or later. I don't know if it's this week. If we get Venzel kind of rolling it with the guards, I think that it's really helpful for a guy to be out of series every so often, and we can always rest Tyler if we need to by putting Hayden at center. Hayden is doing a really good job at guard and center right now.
Does Fields replace him?
Oh, it's Fiegels without a question. Yeah.
Back, at Toledo, do you know how it came about that you're going up there?
I don't. I inherited that one. You know, there's some I've been responsible for and some I inherited, but I don't know. Home and away, somebody decided that was a good idea.
Well, I know that, well, like I said, somebody just mentioned the Appalachian State game, and you had Arkansas State's on the road
Right.
schedule.
I know. I noticed that. I don't know. We just line up and play who they say to play. That's how we roll.
Are you taking more of a role in, some
Well,
coaches get involved, some don't?
I get asked, you know, but sometimes in scheduling, there's things that come up that people just don't understand, or not that they don't understand, they just aren't privy to what's going on. You know, sometimes you're trying to get a game on this certain date. Well, not everybody has an open date at the same time you got a date. You know what I mean? So that cuts out probably 90% of the people you're trying to get with. So that 10%, you know, some may not want to for a lot of different reasons. Or some might say, hey, if we do that, then you got to come to our place. Or we ain't doing it. And the clock's ticking. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So, I mean, and then you got the TV wants this, wants that, and all that kind of thing. So it's not that easy all the time.
It's a question better served 2 weeks ago, so I apologize, but do you like the way this trend now of LSU playing the Gator next year,
Right.
Orlando, you know, Alabama, play Toledo, the shooting?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. Do you
Yeah.
like where this?
I like it if we win.
Oh, yes.
If we don't, it's a bad idea. If you win, it's a great idea.
One more, guys. There's games like this, so I mean, you look at like Toledo's got more to gain out of this game than.
Here's what everybody's got to understand. Toledo's a really good football team. We're talking about Toledo like somehow we're supposed to just line up and whip them. That's not the case. They've got talent. They are coached. They're in shape. They win. You know what I mean? They don't beat themselves. They are a very good football team, can beat anybody they line up against, including us. So we respect them in that way. And we don't look at it any other way than a team that can whip our butt if we don't take care of business.
Anything else, guys?
All right? Thank you. Yep.